So I saw a bit of discourse online about how Mac looks too Hollywood for the show now. So I figured we'd talk about it. Rob's look has changed over the years. A few seasons ago he deliberately made himself gain a lot of weight to mark how characters typically become more attractive as a sitcom progresses and the actors go from struggling to pay rent to being millionaires. The show has always been meta like this. There was even that episode where they talked about how they weren't winning any awards, using the bar as a metaphor for the show. However, here we are, a few years down the line, and that seems to actually have happened to them. They all look great. All of them have had work done, except of course for maybe Charlie or DeVito. But of course DeVito looks timeless anyway. Go and check out a video I did with a friend of mine where we ranked photos of Danny DeVito in order of hotness. That was fun. It kind of feels like they addressed how much Rob has changed by making him have an allergic reaction to nuts in the new episodes. It allowed him to look ridiculous so we could laugh at him again. What is it about not being able to laugh at good looking people? All the best stand-ups are funny looking. I don't know what it is. Like, I found the stand-up of Russell Howard a lot funnier before he got all his muscles. There's something about less attractive people being funnier. More relatable, maybe? So when Mac was having an allergic reaction, we could find him funny again. It's weird that, but I'm sure someone smarter than me could dissect it and figure it out. There seems to be a certain charm and relatability in the vulnerability of those who don't fit the traditional mould of attractiveness. Many comedians have embraced their physical appearances as part of their comedic persona, using self-deprecating humour to connect with audiences. Like I said, most comedians are funny looking. This relatability stems from the fact that imperfections are universal. Everyone has some, and laughing at them together creates a sense of camaraderie. But of course, what we don't all have is millions of dollars to spend on Botox like Rob does. Now, I personally think that complaining about Rob being too good looking now is kind of nitpicking, because the 2 episodes that have been released so far are easily some of the best episodes of Always Sunny in years. It's understandable that people notice and discuss the changes in appearance, but I think it's crucial to remember that appearances should not overshadow your enjoyment of the show. Some people online are arguing that Rob's transition to a more Hollywood look has detracted from the character's comedic charm. The clean-shaven Mac with perfect hair definitely does stand out when compared to previous iterations. However, it's important for us to remember that comedy is not solely dependent on physical appearance. While Mac's appearance may have changed, the essence of his character and humour still is there. The absurd situations and the terrible people, they're all still there. Are we really losing anything due to the fact that Rob is more conventionally handsome than he was a few years ago? Not really. Always Sunny has come a long way since its inception, and it's natural for any show to undergo transformations over such an extended period. Change allows for fresh perspectives, new storylines and character development. In order to keep the audience engaged and entertained, it's essential for a series to evolve and adapt to the ever-changing landscape of TV. Sometimes it can ruin a show, like with Roseanne, and how Roseanne Barr going from working class to a millionaire ruined that show. I'm doing a full video on that one, which should be out soon. One big change in Roseanne involved Roseanne Barr's huge weight loss, which of course had people talking back then. See, nothing's changed. People have always criticised an actor's change in appearance as they become more successful. The only difference between then and now is that Reddit exists. Well, it does for now. If little Spezzy boy keeps ruining things, Reddit will be gone soon enough. But the access to places like Reddit makes people's voices seem louder. Previously, people only talked about it at the water cooler, but they have always taken part in these kind of discussions. Now we all have to witness people talking about how different Mac looks, and it will keep on happening, because actors will always be pressured by Hollywood to maintain a certain image. This is why so many undergo cosmetic procedures and engage in physical fitness routines. It's to meet the demands of the industry. Hollywood does not forgive people for aging. Katharine Hepburn, one of the greatest actors of her time, but past a certain age, she just couldn't get roles that wasn't grumpy old woman. And Alicia Silverstone, one of the most beautiful women on the planet, she was buried under this pressure to be more beautiful. There are some hideous stories about how she was treated on the set of Batman and Robin, and then the second she hit 30, she was done for. The roles dried up and she was only offered the role of the main character's mother. It's awful. That's what Hollywood is. But you can see how this is in conflict with how fans of TV shows so often resist change. There is a certain comfort in familiarity. That's why we all have The Office playing on loop throughout our life. When a show deviates from its established formula, in this case by making Mac more conventionally attractive, it can upset people, but no show can last over a decade without change. And unfortunately, this kind of change just comes with part of being of Hollywood. And Rob's frequent interactions with Ryan Reynolds and their collaboration on the show Wrexham might be influencing his shift towards a more Hollywood persona. Now, of course, I want to address a slightly more serious side to this debate. Talking about how the gang, notably Rob and Caitlin, look so different to how they looked a few years ago. While it's normal to talk about it, some of the discourse has become a bit toxic. The internet can be a breeding ground for harsh criticism, fueled by anonymity and a sense of detachment from the real people behind the characters. The comments directed at Caitlin's appearance are quite upsetting. What a lot of people don't know is she experienced a bike accident during her childhood, which led to bullying and her looking different. In a conversation on Dax Shepard's podcast, she shared her struggles with self-esteem issues and trauma resulting from the accident and the bullying. She even admitted to avoiding mirrors, to avoid seeing herself because of the negative feelings associated with her appearance. I think it's important for us to consider these factors when discussing her appearance. If she has reached a point where she's comfortable with her face, then surely that's a good thing, and not something we want to discourage. We've got to remember that these are real people too, and they have to navigate the shallow attitudes of Hollywood executives. Their appearances are bound to change over time, whether naturally or through interventions, and that's really none of our business. People are insulting Rob and Caitlin's looks under the guise of critiquing the show, but really all it's doing is hurting two people. So yeah. Slightly more serious note, but I felt like it was important that we spoke about that. So yeah, I think we need to understand that Hollywood is weird, and very few people escape it without being ruined by it. Just look at all the child stars that it's chewed up and spat out. I think the only one who made it out unscathed was that girl from Matilda, which is especially surprising considering who her family is. I think we should just enjoy Always Sunny for what it is, and spend less time focusing on how the actors look. This isn't The Simpsons, people change. They're obviously not gonna look the same as they did 10 years ago. So yeah, I think we should just ignore it. The 2 episodes that are out so far have been genuinely great, so let's just crack on and enjoy the show. And if Rob being too Hollywood is too much of a distraction for you, then, well, you know where the TV remote is. Right, I'll call it an end there. Subscribe if you can, we're trying to make it to 3K, so help us out with that. Right, I'll let you go.